All right, let's move on. Again, we'll just leave Reggie again to sleep in the champions room.
So we established that Rico was actually alive, not dead, and that he was also actually the illegitimate son of the Kaiser.
Citan, I'm just going to bed.
And yeah, from what you has said and revealed, not much is gonna come of that.
We're gonna get an extra information out of this later in the game, like I promised, but yeah, Rico for the most part, and it's not like Rico is just gonna be a statue. He's gonna still interact with the party when we do not ask. But again, he's one of the characters where sadly part of his character is going to be cut because he was the one chosen on the chopping block.
So does he at least get other character stuff to do, or is he more or less just a character who's, well, there?
Like I just said, Jova, he's not gonna just stand there, not saying anything, but you'll be able to see anyway. Alright, now what we have to do is to actually get on top of that tower that Citan said and just wait until the train passes. And at that point we'll have to jump on it.
A Square Enix game where we have to do an operation
Yeah,
that involves
get off of this train now. Go ahead, Jova.
Sorry, I can't go into the arena. No matter what you say, I can't. Well, it's time. Tonight's train will be coming through here. I wish you success. Maybe we can meet again. I can't come because the script said I can't.
That choo-choo sound was your signal. Let's see, there we go.
Can you actually miss the train and fall on your face?
Well, you don't die, but you'll still miss the train. Whoa, what the?
Whoa!
Did you just hit your head on
my
the
head is spinning?
So now what?
Well, we'll just have to wait until it takes our destination, I suppose.
You're standing a little too close to the edge, guys, but anyway.
Ew, that was a close one. We almost got thrown off. By the way,
not really, Doc. It's all because of those mischievous punks.
By the way, have I mentioned that I'm totally not suspicious at all?
And the old man's gone, we always do this. Oh well.
He can't hear you over the train, Citan.
Kind of odd hearing that mischievous.
Huh? You say something?
Yeah.
You said... Richard forgot the I and the D. Sorry, guys. As for the mission, so far so good.
And you jinxed it.
You just had to say it, Doc.
You had to say it, didn't you?
No, they wouldn't.
The connector! Fei, hurry up and jump off!
Why is the connector all of a sudden about to break off? What the hell?
This train is almost falling apart. That was another close one.
What if there is before we get to the gear, Doc?
Why? Why is it getting wrecked?
These trains are as stable as the ships from
Soviet technology, everyone.
Not stable at all.
Yes,
Jova, for the same reason that Eggman's egg carrier ship crashes in Sonic 06, because the plot needs it to.
Hold on.
The entrance to the ventilation shaft that leads to the gear dock should be coming up soon.
Is this why the Amazoness couldn't come? Because she knew this stuff would go to crap?
I guess.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Okay, this is actually the second major dungeon in Kislev, and while not as irritating as the sewer one, it has actually a lot of verticality to it, because you have to switch between a ventilation shaft and the rooms on the ground. One, you have to find key cards in order to progress through the facility.
Oh,
so
great.
There's still a bit of tediousness, and it's mostly just for the... Hold on.
Someone is approaching. We should hide.
Yeah, we will totally not see us from here. Go ahead, Libs.
Every day, work. Doesn't anything fun ever happen around here?
No doubt. The last champion looks like he's been matched with by the beast. Now that's something.
Let's get this work done and go check it out.
Yeah, we need to do that. We've been working too much lately.
Okay.
Again, that's the Star Wars Stormtrooper thing, because one of the big influences that New Hope brought to script writing was giving mooks,
not personality, but quirky dialogues.
Yeah.
Even like a lot of video games, particularly like say the Batman Arkham titles and saying something similar to that, actually do have those.
Where's Biggs and Wedge when you need them?
Probably dead, the Jova.
Which?
Yeah.
Hold on. It depends on which Biggs and Wedge you're talking about.
Yeah, that is true. Not all of them die.
OG7.
What? Oh, those guys.
Man.
Funnily enough, the Biggs and Wedge of Final Fantasy VIII actually were smart enough mooks to survive to the end.
The one in 12 actually gets chased away by a chocobo because it stinks.
Well, that's a thing, Joe, but that's because they rage quit the game.
Alright, let's take a peek through here.
They went about of realizing we're not getting paid enough to deal with these guys. Let's
Alright, this particular shaft makes us see what's going on under, and we are just above the hangar, actually. Unfortunately, we cannot jump down, and there's Weltall. Hey!
Mm-hmm. It's all going according to plan.
Again, unfortunately, we cannot just jump down, so we need to find a way to get out and get in that particular hangar.
One of my favorite Biggs and Wedge bit in the entire franchise is, of course, the one where Biggs is fighting a solo, and then Wedge comes in late. Hey, what is the enemy doing here? Hey, no, pray for you this month.
Yeah.
That's Biggs and Wedge.
What's your favorite Biggs and Wedge duo, Pedro?
7. Just because, specifically, new 7. Because, like I said in the commentary, in terms of fleshing out all the world and the side characters, new 7 is just on a whole nother level compared to the OG one.
Okay, admittedly, I have a bit of an advantage that Phil doesn't have, but I can also tell that the Biggs and Wedge, and Wedge of Final Fantasy XIV also are a good time, considering they get to do a lot across all of the expansions.
I mean, given that 14 is an MMO, you get
that is true. You have to also I can use these to talk about a bit. The way 14 actually works is that you have the main scenario quest where you are involved with a set amount of characters from across, the entire world. Others that you may meet in the past for a main scenario quest may come later for doing side scenarios, which, while not as important as the main quest scenario, it will be stuff that's going on the sidelines as the main plot is happening, but function as mini story arcs for them. And the Biggs and Wedge of that particular universe are usually relegated to that. You start meeting them in A Realm Reborn, since they work for the seed of the game, obviously. For his guild that is called the Ironworks. Sorry?
What's going on with the camera? It went all Dutch angle and all spinny around.
That's when I do a special technique, Jova.
Huh.
Yeah, see?
Weird. I don't think
for the tempo technique, Fei launches the enemy in midair and then does a drop kick.
I don't think I've ever seen the camera, though, tilt on a 360-degree axis like that before, though.
Have you heard about the news regarding Final Fantasy XIV? Basically, Shiro.
Okay. The fact that people can't buy it anymore, or the fact that people are upset they changed the grape texture.
I thought you were going to say that people were upset because Yoshi P removed the belt equipment instead.
No. All I'm seeing is grapes. People are mourning grapes.
I was gonna bring up because the game is so brilliant and so incredibly popular that to the point where Square has to stop selling it because the servers are crashing.
And
I know that.
And unfortunately, Yoshi P's team does not have enough, structure or room to actually buy physically new servers.
Wow. So
now what?
So again,
that's what they're actually doing right now. By the time we're recording
they're
this,
trying to figure out a
we don't know what's gonna happen
over the holiday period as well. Bloody hell!
It's because apparently a lot of people from the World of Warcraft fan base migrated to 14, and as a result,
after the new expansion, yes,
and also because of two things: the events with Blizzard and some particular influencers like Asmongold actually promoted the game.
They're not the only MMO that people have been abandoning for Final Fantasy XIV. Apparently, a few other MMOs with.
Okay, the only major one that I might know is Guild Wars 2, I guess, but not Okay, Black Desert Online and Phantasy Star Online 2 are still not in a sense, completely fine, but they have not, received that much of an exodus.
God, how surreal is it that we finally live in a world where Phantasy Star Online 2 is finally available overseas after all the years that people have been asking for it?
But with this taking a peek, this allows us to take a look also at what other guards are doing, which will come in handy for a later scenario.
Forget it.
Okay.
Again, some of these are actually exiting because the match that includes Rico is about to begin. Again, the less people are in the room, the better, which will allow you to actually enter and sneak in potentially. Go on, Jova.
Yeah, the 14 game is literally a case where the problem is that it's too successful.
It's the point where no one can get in because the servers are too clogged.
I actually was planning on getting caught up completely with Shadowbringers by the time Endwalker was going to be released, but I suspected something like this would happen because something similar happened when Storeblood was released. Not to this magnitude, mind you, but it did happen, so I thought maybe I should wait a bit and see what happens. To be fair, they are already promising, not a refund, but essentially a free trial period for everyone who had an inconvenience like that. Oh, this is important.
Security is much free time. People always think we have plenty of free time. Check.
Anyway, what have you been doing over there?
Nothing.
Well, whatever. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go polish my weapon. And don't worry, I do not worry, I will not point loaded gun at face this time.
I think this is also your cue to actually start entering the room because it will be empty enough.
All right.
Yes, sir?
How absolutely delightful it is, though, that Yoshi P and his team literally made that game way too good for
and mind you, with what's supposed to be even an outdated engine, it's still using the Crystal tools from the PS3 era.
May I remind you, this game started off as one of the most hated games of all time, and I don't exaggerate.
What a glow up! Like, seriously.
No, it's because, basically, sure, the original 14 from 2010 was made by a completely different team. It was when Yoshi P and his team took over that they completely reconstructed the game from the ground.
I did remember...
After pretty much trying to apply band-aids to the original for 2 years.
And I do remember the interviews.
And also blowing it up, anyway.
They did specifically mention that, they wanted to have a very hard-hitting campaign of where they would have, focused a lot on fan service. And yes, they actually did. They did brought back a lot of... 14 actually is the title that reunites a lot of elements from the previous franchise that normally would be just Easter egg as actual plot point just for their own universe. It reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild in a sense that incorporates elements from previous titles, and just in their own way, like Magitech Armor, Gunblades, the materia system.
So I'm curious, how much was the original 14 embedded into the canon of the new one? Because I do know that they
still is. Story-wise, Jova, completely canon. Everything that happened. The only major problem is that...
There's no way to really play the original 14 now.
No, at best you might get some minor recaps being told to you, but there's no way to actually see the actual cutscenes of the story, which it's a bit of a problem because elements from it... Sorry?
Is there like a YouTube upload of all the cutscenes or something?
I'm talking about in-game. Okay. But there are a lot of elements, like some characters that do show up and has to be referenced. So at that point, when they do show up, the game has to physically stop for a second and tell you this person did some stuff before you arrived.
I will admit, it does seem like a weird move to still keep the canon of the old game incorporated when traditionally there's no way to really properly experience that. Oh, sure, yeah, you can look up YouTube videos. But for somebody who wants to, just get into playing the game but understand all that's going on, that does sound a bit like a shame.
That being said, I can assure you that for some of the stuff that me and Waves will show for 14, you don't really need that much knowledge, mostly because it's gonna be very side stuff like the cameo scenario, the cameo quest lines, like the Ivalice one or the Nier Automata raids, or one of my absolute favorite side activities, the Hildebrand Vanderbilt storyline, where the game basically becomes a traditional anime comedy, kind of like Yokai Watch for some reason.
I really do
Hold
need
on.
to... Oh.
Wasn't there also a Yokai Watch crossover?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, make sure you return the master key to the shelf.
Good, sir. The master key?
Yes, the master key, weird dissembled voice.
You should do it. Yeah, in the locker room.
These gods are really bad
Hey,
at their job.
did you all hear? The battle between the ex-champ and the beast is about to begin.
Oh, it's already starting. There's no way we can miss this.
You clean my gun, and do not point it at your own face, you
There
idiots.
we go. Now we just need to collect the thing. There it is. Pedro? What's wrong,
sorry.
Doc?
Sorry. This is part of the allows a gear to recover 40% of its HP.
Oh, this is also a bit important.
Can't you tell me this when we get out of here?
Look, Faye, if you have this equipped, you can activate this during battle. The drawback is that you will use fuel, so you must use your caution.
That really doesn't matter unless we get back to the gear, Doc. There's no one here, so let's hurry up and get out of here.
Yeah,
Yes, my usual habit. Well, we should take it anyway, since we have the chance.
Yeah,
My usual habit of giving tutorials.
That's the thing about this localization that I've noticed. A lot of times, it seems like Richard Mark Honeywood doesn't seem to know what a thesaurus is. Like, a lot of times he keeps using the same words multiple times in the same sentence.
Not just that, it's a bit of redundancy. Let's say, let's get out of here and then get out of here.
Richard,
Also,
what have I
Joe,
told you about redundancy?
Yes,
Yes,
What else is he supposed to do until he has to give his backstory or whatever?
All right, Richard, either you cut out the redundancies or you'll be the one made redundant.
But
Do I make myself clear?
Well,
But
sure,
yeah,
he can maybe start by, telling the truth for starters.
That's never easy, Joe. But
That being said, what do you mean irrelevant? I'm not even getting paid at this point.
Oh, you are, Mr. Richard. You're
But,
getting paid your weight in food, essentially.
But yes, the frame HP is an important accessory that from this point on you should always equip to a gear, and it will be available in stores for you to buy, because it's literally your only major way to recover HP with a gear, in battle. The drawback being that it consuming fuel, you will need to, conserve your resources and decide when to act properly.
That's interesting. Hold on, he's burped.
No, I
Well,
just got an event. Go ahead.
No. I was going to start something to do specifically with these burp. But the point is, no, that's one of the big reasons why I'm really excited for Final Fantasy 16, because that way I can see what all the hullabaloo is all about with Yoshi P and this team. I mean,
So, in regards to Final Fantasy 14,
Yes,
okay.
yes, Joe.
So Realm Reborn, I'm guessing that takes place essentially after the final boss or whatever the end of a storyline in the original.
5 years
14
later, literally in story reason, in order to be saved by what the calamity causes at the end of 1.0, you get teleported. Supposedly you get the protagonist, at least if you were playing up, you get teleported 5 years ahead. If you're a new player, you basically just start ahead 5 years later and you get caught up with the events. The idea of Eorzea, the place where you do start in, is that it's kind of like the Ivalice of 12 and the tactics game. It's a land that is ripe with potential for adventurers, so it attracts a lot of people who want to just basically start from scratch and start killing and exploring ruins all over the place. And eventually we'll get tangled into events that allow you to talk with more the political factions of the game.
It seems like they incorporate elements from all different Final Fantasy games as well.
Yes, but I can definitely assure you that it's still very fresh. Also, this is the place where we were before, where the guard was tossing around, and we got a mini gear. Fortunately, it's action figure. Ooh. You, my super ultra great delicious damn vampire beautiful pie remerging with the physical for me. I was going to put in a custom present mini gear.
It's a
are you
collectible, I
okay?
guess?
You're one of those people that has a gajillion Funko Pops in their room and amiibos without, still inside their packages because removing them tarnishes their appearance.
We are literally going to have to knock these guys out over an action figure.
I mean, I've seen worse, Joe, I guess. Why not?
Call them toys, that'll really make them mad.
But yeah, Joe, I can assure you that the product, despite all the fan service, manages to stay very fresh with the originality. It's not a perfect story, mind you. It has a couple of hiccups, and you can tell a couple of times where the story wanted to go in one direction, but because of deciding how to structure the updates or the expansions, it goes to a different one. But it's never to the point where it makes it outright bad. At worst, I can tell that it has one character that I tend to not like as much as I used to. Well, that's it.
Does it have something of a rerun function where you can replay certain events?
It got introduced last year, I think, called New Game Plus, which is the tool that me and Dweebs will use to actually showcase content because most of the stuff is already completed.
That's actually something sorry, go on, Shirei.
It's really nice that you have a team that seem to genuinely care about both the game and its community, to the point where when something goes wrong and there are delays and whatever, because there have been, people don't throw a fit. People are just like, yeah, sure, take your time, we'll be here whenever. And
basically,
I've never seen that before, especially with MMOs.
Yoshi also structure the game also in a way where it's not something that you're forced to keep playing every single day of your life. There can be a point that if you're diligent enough, you can arrive at the intended ended point of that update, complete all even the side activities that you want, and you can just drop it down, and it's perfectly fine for them, basically.
Though I've never played the game myself and probably never will, the community and everything just seems really nice from the outside.
It helps that, Square are not a perfect company. Let's make that clear. However, ever since they fixed 14, the way they've handled that game has been, a clear-cut example of how a company should act in times of crisis.
The only people who get to suffer, as you may imagine, Shiri, are the healers, because for different reasons. Okay, you want to find... it's not something that it's in the game, but something tied to the player base, Shiroi, which is kind of treated as a kind of a joke for the community, but is sadly true. The constant truth, particularly from us Europeans, don't encounter French players. I know that I'm sorry for everyone from France who's actually watching right now, but it's sadly true. Every single time I found a French player in Final Fantasy XIV, it was a horrible experience, and every person in my guild also had something similar to that, for simple reasons. The French players are surprisingly elitaristic assholes who basically, when making a team, start speaking in the chat only in French. If you just ask them to speak English, they basically act offended when you say that to them. Then they completely cause total party kills because there's absolutely no synergy with you and the rest of the party, and they blame you for that.
But Tio, I mean, if it helps, from what I've seen online, even French people don't like French people, so...
From what I heard, Shiroi, apparently it's not even a thing exclusive to Final Fantasy 14. In general, encountering French people online for an experience, even for games, for team games like say Team Fortress 2 or Overwatch when it was still majorly played, kind of had a similar experience to that. I don't really know what the deal is.
They're just giant trolls at this point.
Dang.
Yeah, but that's like I said, that's the primary reason for me. Because the director of Final Fantasy 16 is the technical director of 14, so it's basically saying it's creative business free. Is it too? Creative business free, right?
I don't know exactly the name of the team, but I think so.
They have a division that's called Creative Business. That's their division. But the point is, so basically, Shiroi, they're now making 16, which is an action RPG. So us single-player gamers are going to be able to get a taste of their awesomeness, it seems.
Okay. And
also, without any of that turn-based stuff.
I was about to mention the only thing I'm not particularly the not the most super enthusiastic about 16 is the fact that as the gameplay leader design and seems to be taking inspiration from Devil May Cry 5, which...
Wait. Okay, don't get me wrong. Devil May Cry 5 is a fantastic game, but that for a Final Fantasy mainline game?
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of like a hybrid sort of thing, like the 7 remake was.
We'll need to wait to see later trailers if it gets refined, changed or not. You have to remember that a constant thing is that early trailers of Final Fantasy gameplay always gets changed later down the line in some capacity.
Hey, remember
To be fair, Final Fantasy has experimented with its battle system plenty of times before. 15
I
was
know
also
that, but it
action-based.
should not be used as an excuse.
Okay. Experimentation
Wait, I don't get it.
Okay.
You know, to strain even further all the time.
Don't get me wrong. I get experimentation, but Devil May Cry 5's gameplay isn't really RPG material. Like, okay, yes, they strayed, but it never felt like they went out of the realms of, RPG. Like, Devil May Cry is definitely not RPG stuff. That's as action adventure as you can get with its gameplay.
Well, the correct term for that job is hack and slash. Yeah.
Well, according to Hashimoto, it's actually the director of the game that decides which battle system it is for each game. So it seems like it's just one of those cases where I guess they just wanted to make it this one an action one.
Yeah, well, doesn't mean that I have to agree with that. Anyway, there you go. We got Weltall, thankfully. Sadly, Doc will have to stay on foot. And now we can actually enter in the arena, finally catching up to Rico.
Also, about the healers, is that because they always have to deal with stupid people?
That too. I can tell you another time because we're a bit to get caught up with the plot.
In the meantime, it is creative business free. Who would have thought I'd be battling using only mine?
So what adversary Rico has to face?
Must be my imagination.
Oh my god, it's Griever!
This is a setup.
That's not my imagination.
No.
That's no moon.
What's this vibration?
It's called an earthquake.
Sadly, no Shiroi.
Sandworm?
No.
A gear doesn't vibrate
War?
like this. It can't be.
It's the unknown! No.
That's a rancor?
It's the giant T-Rex.
Crap! You gotta be kidding me. I'm supposed to fight with a gear?
Without
a gear.
Without a gear, sorry. That sounded gear and fight. Like, the text is moving a bit too fast. A black gear, him. Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's Fei, sorry.
Yeah. Also, my gear is not black.
Wait.
Jesus.
Oh, slow down, game. Jeez.
So yeah.
It's midnight blue, damn it.
So yeah, round 3 against the fucking T-Rex, and
the
just to
same
let you
one?
know, and it has the same stance when we faced it. So you can tell that he's gonna basically come down, get down even easier than previously.
Again, weirdly enough, he looks more like he has the head of a Carnotaur instead of a T-Rex, because, the horns.
This was around the same time Disney was about to release dinosaurs, so I wonder if it was like a common thing.
I forget, do they call this thing a T-Rex actually in-game?
No, it's called the Rancor.
That was a lot more anticlimactic than the music made it out to be.
I know, right?
Yep. Oh well, all's well that ends well.
There we go.
Why? Why are you here?
To get this back. It's not that I came here to save you.
That is exactly why you came here.
The elevator I happened to use to escape put me in the arena. I saw you were getting attacked. That's why I saved you.
Liar.
Nothing more than that.
Why is Fei blatantly lying?
What a coincidence. That's a convenient story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's up to you to what you think of it.
So you're not denying it.
What are you gonna do now?
Shoot you!
Do what?
I'm marching to the arena. We're also fugitives. That's why we must escape. If you stay, it'll probably make you fight that monster again.
Again, totally didn't come to save you.
This time you're gonna die. Is that what you want?
Well, I mean, that's what you wanted for a while.
Even you must have things left to do here. But in your state of mind...
Oh, suddenly you're a therapist?
Silence! Shut up. Twice. That's twice you've... If you want to escape from the Empire, do it now. I have no intentions of leaving. Even if this is going to be the end for me.
Right.
Uh-huh. What's...
Yeah,
that?
I was wondering, why was the screen jerk?
Oh no, there's more rain cars.
No, remember, we're about to get caught up with the plot that we have foreshadowed until now. The bombing squad is arriving at Kislev. A rumbling? What's this vibration?
This vibration, that's... No, it's not coming from the ground. It's the vibration in the atmosphere?
Eh?
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
You
Yeah,
think?
you think?
And we'll just find out this the bombing, of Kislev in the next part. So
Plot twist.
for that.
And then they all died.
No, plot twist. It
Everyone
was...
died.
Actually, no, plot twist. It was a surprise birthday party.
Alright, see you then.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.